Now, for those at home who are unfamiliar, can you just enlighten us with what a radio tracker does?
Okay, so a radio tracker is someone who represents your single at radio. And before you go to radio, they help you determine what you need to be ready for radio, what your song time is, what format you fit, and that you have your website up and running, your branding, marketing is all in place. So everything that you need, a radio tracker makes sure that you're ready to go before you go to radio. And then we submit your single through DMDS, and then we contact your radio stations every week, phoning, emailing, sending them reports, compiling information of the artist if they're touring, if there's any media attention, basically feeding them everything we can to their music meetings so that basically it's all the ammunition that we can get every week to convince a music director that you should be at the top of the pile and in every music meeting and they should take a chance on you.
Bringing a single to radio is, you're not guaranteeing airplay. You're guaranteeing that it's going to get to the people that it needs to get to, and then you're going to get the feedback.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because the music directors are getting at least 20, 25 singles a day. So, and it's just too overwhelming. They can't listen to everything, but they know, oh well, if Amber calls, if Yvonne calls, if this company calls, that company calls, we know it must be pretty decent, so we're going to listen to it. And that's the whole purpose of having it listened to and then coordinating all the information and making sure that, that we get as much airplay for you as possible and keep that ball rolling and keep the momentum going at all times.
How do you stand out these days? How does someone who sends their song to radio, and let's say they're working with a radio tracker, how do you stand out?
I think the bottom line is still and always will be it's the song. It has to be a good song. And when a music director listens to the song, the next thing they're going to do is they're going to go to the website. They're going to start, Googling the artist and see how busy they are. Are they a real artist, or is this just one song that they put out? Are they social networking? Are they playing at all? It's, what defines an artist from, it's all about getting the confidence of a music director. So, part of our job is to feed it to them, but music directors will, if they like something, if they like what they hear, and they don't listen to a whole song all the time before they make their decision. They will eventually, but, that first few seconds, and then they're onto the websites, and then they're searching out to see what the artist is doing and how busy they are.
It's not how you look, it's not how expensive your video is, It all starts with the song. You gotta have that songwriting skill.
How hard the artist works. Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone's listening there. That's real advice, real practical advice.
Don't send your song out to radio and then sit back and do nothing, because we're only as good as the tools you give us.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
They wanted to change the way we delivered music to radio. Instead of having to have a CD and a postage stamp and an envelope, they went ahead and created technology that's just burst on the scene. It's been 10 years, they've delivered thousands and hundreds of thousands of tracks to radio. It's the only game in town, as they say. 4 years ago when I went to DMDS, they said, well, what are we going to do? We really don't have to advertise, we're the only game. And so I said to Adam and Cliff, well, why don't we give back? And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I only make my living from the indie sector. I know how much money there isn't in this business. So why don't we give them back? Let's give them a free upload to radio. Let's give them a free upload to video. The trackers got on board and said, well, we'll promote it if you want. And, well, that's great. And they said, well, how are you going to do it? And I said, well, let's just base it on what they do best, meaning you. And that was to deliver us the most radio-friendly track we have here this weekend.
When these great radio trackers, when they deliver your music to radio to work the single, they deliver it on DMDS. Virtually every song you hear on the radio comes through the service, whether it's from a major label or an indie label or no label at all. Same thing with music videos. Every video you've seen on Much or Aux or Music Plus or even MTV or Fuse in the States has been delivered to them through the DMDS service.
Okay, we're going to ask you guys to smile, please. Okay. And then we'll get your names later and we'll put them on. Here we go, and we'll tag them all, okay?
At the end of the day, radio programmers are getting hundreds and hundreds of songs from hundreds and tons of artists, people like ourselves, major record labels, and you're going up against them, and they want people that mean it. So if you're not going to work hard and you're going to sit there and look at me and say, here's my song, and that's it, and it happens. Some of you might be like, oh yeah. It happens, and it's pretty scary. So if you know that you might be one of those people, then you need to figure something out, because you need to be on the road, you need to be in people's faces, and the number one thing is get good at what you do. And like I said, have people around you that are going to be honest with you. That's just one thing I want to stress so much.